All right, welcome back to Yahoo Finance Live on this Tuesday morning. U.S. stocks, a mixed picture here. We see Bitcoin still trading right around 37,000 as the market continues to digest that rough weekend that we saw a couple of weeks back. So where do things stand in the crypto space as we head towards the second half of 2021? Joining us now for that conversation is Jeffrey Wang. He's the head of Americas at the Amber Group, a crypto finance firm. So Jeff, I'll just start with how you guys are talking about this market with your clients who maybe they've gotten into the space in a big way for the first time in the last 18 months, hadn't seen the kind of up and down cycle that you certainly know is a feature of the crypto markets, and how you guys have, again, talked through the last quarter, which, you know, all in all has been a little flattish for Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the new entrants we've seen in the past 6 months have been kind of on the institutional side, very experienced investors, you know, existing macro funds setting up digital arms. So a lot of these investors are, you know, very familiar with big volatility assets. So for the most part, people who have recently entered are, you know, looking at this with a medium to long-term view, are not really shaken up by it. And in general, actually, they've had more kind of powder to use, and they've been actually buying on dips. So, you know, that was kind of the large motto we've seen from a lot of investors over the past 6 months, saying, you know, I wish I could buy Bitcoin on a dip when we had that rally up to 60,000. And here we have that dip. And actually, we are seeing some of the larger investors, you know, not fazed by it, still buying, kind of averaging in, and generally not that bothered. I think they do have the medium to longer term view. So at this point, you know, I think most investors are either have experienced this before from the retail side or are looking at it from a long-term view from the institutional side. So not too many people in that much pain.
Jeffrey, it's Julie here. You are a veteran regular currency, plain old vanilla currency trader.
Yeah.
And you traded other exotics as well. But I'm really curious how this compares to that. You know, are there analytics from FX that you can even apply to Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies? How do you sort of think about this versus what you did before, or is it really quite different?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think in general, the Bitcoin and crypto market in a whole is quite similar to traditional assets in the sense that there's a roadmap it's going to follow. So obviously, Bitcoin and crypto in general is much more volatile than foreign exchange, equities. But you know, we're seeing this kind of whole industry develop around it, and the good thing is, crypto can essentially follow the path that's been laid before it. In that sense, what I mean is, we know which products have sold well in foreign exchange and equities in terms of what retail likes to buy, what businesses are needed to support the trading environment, and essentially, you know, crypto can grow much faster because it can really just follow the footsteps of FX and equities, which, you know, took decades to kind of develop and for the market to figure out products, kind of supporting services, and Bitcoin is kind of just following it. Of course, you know, the volatility is much higher, so you have to get used to that. But in general, yeah, the markets kind of function as other kind of financial markets are, and I think crypto as an asset class is kind of has established itself as, you know, viable. So yeah, I think the future is still pretty strong for the industry as a whole.
Jeffrey, what's the next buying signal you're looking at for Bitcoin?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think hopefully the time of those violent moves that we saw 2 weeks ago, you know, are subdued for now. So, you know, things have bottomed out. Things are relatively calm. And going forward, the market's going to need to be a bit more discerning kind of across the board, meaning, you know, a few months ago, you could have bought any kind of coin across, you know, maybe the top 100 coins, and pretty much they'd all go up and, you know, you wouldn't really have to worry. From here on out, you're going to have to be a bit more discerning, kind of find projects that are adding value where the tokenomics make sense. But in general, on Bitcoin, I think I think if you're a believer for the medium term, you kind of just have to average in, because it's really hard to time. I mean, I bought some lower, I bought some much higher than here. So I think you kind of just need to average in and hold for the medium term.
And, Jeffrey, just thinking about what your clients are trying to accomplish with their crypto allocation, is it a source of alpha? Is it a source of diversification? Is it because something their investors have demanded be part of a portfolio? How are those clients, or how are your clients, I guess, responding to their interest or the way that they're being guided by their own clients into this space?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. So for one, let's say you're an institution that has been traditionally in, the macro space. You've kind of seen very low volatility in a lot of your underlyings, and then you look on the digital asset side and you're seeing, potentially huge gains that you're missing out on. And then on the flip side of that, is also that you're seeing your competitors also set up digital arms. So you're kind of missing out on that as well. So there's a bit of peer pressure involved. But I think crypto has kind of backed itself up, and it is a kind of viable asset class. And there are, real opportunities. There's real money to be made. So I guess when a traditional firm that is really just trying to provide performance for their investors, and you see an asset that can have 20% moves, it is volatile and you can have down days, obviously, but if for these kind of traders and professional investors, they're looking at the upside.
Yeah, easier to explain why it's down 20% than why you missed the 300% move on the upside when people come calling about that one. All right, Jeffrey Wang is the head of Americas at the Amber Group. Jeffrey, thanks so much for jumping on this morning.